Hey guys, I'm going to be filming my labor and delivery story today. Yeah, I got eyelash extensions today and they're not done, but yeah. Well, I want to get them more filled in 2 weeks. But anyway, so um so basically my due date was August 7th. I went into labor on August 10th. I was 40 weeks and 3 days when I went into labor, so I was overdue. It was horrible. Like, it wasn't like horrible, like I still felt like I don't know why people say like it's so bad, like all this stuff when you're overdue. I mean, it feels it's the exact same thing. You feel like horrible no matter what, because you're big, you're fat, you can't sleep, you can't breathe. Yeah. But so that weekend was tax-free weekend, and like I already knew like I'm either gonna go into labor like a day before or like during this weekend. I knew I was gonna have her like around that time. So like my mom had so me and my mom already made plans to go shopping for my niece for clothes. So she picks me up, we go to Sam's, we put air in her tire, then we go to her house, and I waited in the car for her, and around like 3 o'clock, 3:30, almost 4 o'clock, I started having minor contractions, kind of like period cramps, I would say. And then like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start like, cause every other time like I never counted my contractions, but this time I was like, I'm gonna count them. So I started counting like I had this app called Baby Center. So and they have this thing where you can track your contractions. So I used the app, and my contractions were like every 2 minutes, every 2 to 5 minutes apart, and they would last like 40 seconds to a minute. And so my doctor told me like at my doctor's office that wait an hour before going to the hospital. So that's what I did. I waited an hour or over an hour till I went to the hospital. So we get to the mall, we go to JCPenney's, I look at clothes for me, for like after I have her, and then we go upstairs and I look at the baby clothes and then look at the little girl clothes and all that stuff. And like as I'm looking, like the contractions are getting worse. Like I could not handle them like at all. And then we pay and I could not stand. Like I had to sit down. Like it was just, they were just getting so bad. So my mom was like, let's go to H&M. So we went to H&M. You can come in. We went to H&M, and like at that point I really could not stand. Like I had to sit down. So like I was like going around sitting down at the stools in H&M, like where you like try on shoes. And we went to go pay, and the lady, like the checkout ladies were taking so long. Like I was like, I'm gonna go sit out in the mall. So I went to go sit, and my mom was like taking so long, and I was like moving back and forth because it just hurt so bad. And then she comes out and she's like, well, while we're here, let's pay for Victoria's Secret. And I was like, well, okay. So we go in there, and like I couldn't like just stay still. Like I had to like be moving. And then after that, I was like, well, let's eat, because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to eat if I'm in actual labor. So like, let's just go ahead and eat right now. So we went to eat Chick-fil-A, and then after that, like as I was eating, I like had to be moving again. Like I couldn't just like sit down and eat. So then after that, we went back to JCPenney's, bought my clothes, and then like my mom had to go get the car because I could not like walk to the car. Like it was like when you're in labor, like it hurts So she went to go get the car. And then we drove to the hospital, and like on the way to the hospital, we went a back way, and it has like a whole bunch of potholes, like bumps, like it was just an ugly road. Like both of the roads we were on, they were just so ugly. And then we finally get to the hospital, and my boyfriend's already there. Like he's waiting at the emergency entrance. So we go up, we're like, we need to see a doctor, like I think I'm in labor and stuff like that. So we get in, they have like this triage, like so they don't waste a room. They put you like in this, like you're separated with curtains basically. If you've never been to labor before, you're separated with curtains, and they just monitor you. And they checked me, and I was 3 centimeters. And then, like, I had already been 3 centimeters. So, like, it was, like, I was like, oh, well, I haven't, like, progressed or anything. So, like, okay, well, we'll check you, like, out, like, we'll check you again in, like, an hour. But within, like, the hour, like, I want you to walk. So, like, I started walking around, like, the labor and delivery area, the postpartum area, like, everywhere. And, like, as I was walking, I was having contractions. And, like, throughout, like, going through the hallways, like, nurses, like, saw me, or like, oh, you haven't delivered your baby already? Like, I would have thought you had, because, like, throughout all of July, like, I thought I was in labor, because she's, like, my daughter, like, she, like, had so many tricks on me. She played so many tricks on me. It's, like, ridiculous. But I thought I was in labor, like, so many times, because she gave me so many contractions. But, yeah, and then, like, I was hurting so bad, like, the contractions got worse. And they gave me some medicine, and they said that if the medicine stops the contractions, like, you can't feel them anymore, then you're not in labor. But if you dilate and you go through the medicine, like it didn't work, then you're in labor. So I ended up going through the medicine, and I dilated 2 centimeters. And they're like, okay, well, you're in labor, so we're gonna move you to a room. So they moved me to a room, and like they were like, the contractions were bad, but like they were, like, I could handle them. They weren't like to the point where I was crying, and like 10 minutes passed, and like I had to get up. Like, I could not, like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, like, I started crying because I was in so much pain, and eventually I just started screaming, like screaming, like I was being stabbed multiple times in my back, in my lower stomach. I could not, like, function. And like I was like to my nurse, I was like, where's the epidural? Like, I need the epidural. Like, I could not, like it was so bad. And like finally he comes in, and like he was like, you have to stay still. And it's like, I can't, because I was going through a contraction. He was like, you have to stay still. I was like, I can't. And then like they're like, yes you can. And then he put the epidural inside, in my back, and then he did it wrong. And he was like, well, I'm gonna have to do it again. I was like, that's fine, because I can't feel anything anymore, so I don't care. And then he did it again, and he got it wrong. And he was like, well, I have to do it again. I was like, okay, whatever. And then he did it again, and he finally got it right. Third time the charm. So after that, like, I was good. Like, I got that epidural. Honestly, I really have no idea what time I got the epidural. But, you can come in. But, like, we waited a good while, and I thought my water had broken. Like, I guess it did break, but it was like a little trickle. And then, like, the nurse had came in, and like, somehow my water bag was outside. Like, it was like the weirdest thing. Like, the water bag was like outside, and I got to see it, which was pretty cool. So yeah, and then like she took that out, and like 10 minutes later, my water broke, and it felt like I peed like all over myself. But it was like the weirdest feeling. Like I've never ever like felt like that felt that before. And then she comes back in, she checks me, she's like, oh, it's time to push. I was like, oh crap. And then I got like super excited, and then my boyfriend was sleeping, so we had to wake him up. And yeah, and then like after that, like it all like happened. And like she at first she didn't want to come out, like when I was pushing, and she just didn't want to like go down. And like it just took for like it took like I pushed for like in 30 minutes to an hour, I would say. And then finally her head like got right there. And then the nurse was like, don't push. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'm not pushing, I swear, I'm not pushing. And like her head would like, she was like sliding out like by herself. And like a whole bunch of nurses just like ran into the room. It was crazy. And they just and they just started doing like their own thing. And it was just like, and like they're like, push, push, push. And like if you push without a contraction, you rip. And I had to push without a contraction, so I got a 2-degree rip. And like ripping, it takes longer to recover. And I don't think like people like really understand how like how sensitive you are in that area. Like it takes so much longer to recover than it is not ripping, because you do have stitches, you do have a rip, and it's a very sensitive area. So yeah, but basically her head was like sliding out, her shoulder got stuck, her knees were like bent up, so like her knees got stuck. It was just bad. But yeah, overall, like I had a pretty good, like funny, I would say, traumatic, great, like I would not change my delivery like at all, because I loved like the way, like I loved the story of my delivery. But yeah, she came out 7 pounds 13 ounces 21 inches. She's long, I know. But yeah, that's my labor and delivery story. So I really hope you guys like this. Like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.